Greetings, fellow geeks, and welcome to another episode of Geeks Like Me with me, your host, Drake and Red Fox. Today on the show, we have Leena Swarts from Beleran's Aerie Cosplay. Leena, welcome to Geeks Like Me.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, just to start off, how long have you been cosplaying?
Probably for the better part of 3.5 years. Not that long, compared to most experienced cosplay standards. So,
Yeah. I have to ask, how did you get into cosplaying?
well, it's actually an interesting story because I used to help as an editor and writer for All Otaku magazine, and we used to do interviews with cosplayers themselves, which ironically was one of the first ones that I had an interview with was Combo Kitten from Genevieve Lesh from Cape Town, and she actually inspired me to start doing cosplay. Because I was looking at these outfits and I'm like, oh my god, people are actually making these things? And the costumes look so amazing, I've got to try my hand at this. Which started me on a very rocky road because I'm like, oh my god, how do people make these things? Because do they like go to little stores and go like, I need a ball here and I need a little piece of costume shop maybe? Mask? No, it's not. Oh, for heaven's sakes. That was literally my start in cosplay. I was hunting materials to use for costumes because I literally had no idea where to start making these cosplay outfits with. It was only until we did a Cos XP, the very first Cos XP that we did, that I actually started learning that you can make these things from foam, and you can seal the foam and make the primer, and you can make some pretty incredible things based with foam alone. So I tried my hand at that and I had some pretty good success with it. But the biggest problem that I had was the foam was not durable. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So I could just go on and on about it. I'm a crafter. Okay, I'm a crafter. Just
Okay. So, you have a very interesting name, Beleran's Aerie Cosplay. I always find it very interesting to find out how do people pick their cosplay names. How did Beleran's Aerie come to life?
So, a couple of years ago, I started writing a book, okay, and one of the people in that book was called Beleran, a name that I literally kind of made for myself, or well, for the character, and it just kind of stuck because I really like the sound of it. It sounds elvish, it's just kind of rolls off the tongue, and I really love the name. So the Aerie bit, that was a little bit more difficult because when I was looking at a cosplay name, I didn't want to go Beleran's Cosplay or Leena's Cosplay or whatever the case may be, cosplay. I wanted something unique, something that nobody else really had a tag with. So I was looking at Beleran's workshop, Beleran's smithing, Beleran's something, and I settled on Aerie because of what Aerie actually means. So Aerie is, by very definition, is a home of something in the clouds. So eagles, when an eagle makes a nest high in a mountain, that's an Aerie. When an angel chooses a place of living, that's an Aerie. Normally the highest spot associated with it. And I kind of, not because I wanted to like put myself above all others, that's not the idea. The idea is I love the sound of it. So I went, okay, it's Beleran's Aerie.
See, I did not know that. I was going with the Jamaican, it's Aerie man. So, that's really interesting. Okay, so one of the things about your cosplay that stands out above most other cosplayers is you do phenomenal leather work, like really, really phenomenal leather work, which very few cosplayers, not just in South Africa, but across the globe, it's not something that people attempt. They're very scared of working with leather, and your costumes are very much, it has foam material, but there's very detailed leather work into it. How did you get into leatherworking, and do you find it easier than crafting with foam?
Well, as to the start of the leatherworking, it actually started with my dad when I was really little because he was a leatherworker as a hobby. And he made, if you think my stuff is good, you should have seen some of the stuff my father did, which was absolutely phenomenal. And I used to get to play with the scraps. So I got the tools, I got the scraps, and that was my start to leatherworking at 8. And then after we came to South Africa, I haven't seen my dad in a while, but I was looking for a material that was a little bit more sturdy than foam. Something that I could still craft with, shape with, detail with, and that wasn't foam, that would last. And that's how I got into leatherworking. It actually started with the LARPing, not the cosplay. So when we were LARPing, I was like, oh, I can't go running around in the field, falling, and the foam is just going to rip. I need something sturdy. So I came back to leatherworking for that idea, for that purpose. The problem that I had was the leather itself is so expensive. But on the flip side, you're looking at things like warbler, which is pretty much just as expensive, if not more expensive than actual leather.
Yeah, of course.
Having the LARPers gave me the opportunity to do commissions for leatherworking and helped me to pay for the hobby, which was a fantastic way to start, because alone it was really difficult for me to be able to afford the leather. And it just went from there, it went from strength to strength. I did more leatherworking, and for the LARPers I did some commissions, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to do a cosplay incorporating my leatherworking. So I felt comfortable enough to a stage where I could start making leather as a cosplay. And that brought me to my Joanna cosplay.
Yeah,
which was,
last year icon,
yes.
which was phenomenal.
Thank you. But the problem that I had with the leather was it was very thin. It had no body. So I came back to foam. So I was like, but I don't want to do the foam alone. It's not sturdy. So I decided to do a hybrid cosplay. So I used foam for the body and leather for the sturdy, which presented a whole bunch of challenges on its own, because now you're working with soft material and tough material. The hard material generally rips through and damages the soft material.
Of course. So I want to quickly just step away from,
sure.
You mentioned you LARP. Okay, so is LARPing a thing that you enjoy? You do that quite often?
Oh, definitely, does. LARPing LARPing opened up a whole new world of geek for me, honestly, because when I started cosplaying, I was looking at the LARPers and I'm like, I'm not really sure if this is something I would enjoy, honestly. And I have to give credit to my friend Natasha. She was actually the one that got me started in LARPing, because she was like, I just went to this event and I met Beleran and I met Radic, and it was so awesome, and I swung my sword and I beat people up, and I was like, you gotta try this. I was like, okay, we'll do this. Went to an adventure day, which is a single day event for LARPing, and I had so much fun doing this, just half a day, couple of hours LARPing. I was like, okay, no, I'm doing this. Getting a character, writing a detailed character background, and I haven't looked back since. It has just been absolutely amazing journey with LARPing as well.
I'm going to ask just a little short. Tell us a little bit about your LARPing character.
Okay, well,
just for interest.
My LARPing character is called Beleran.
Of course it is.
So she's an elf, a very old elf, which, by the way, I didn't know was old until I actually got in game. Because, generally elves are immortal creatures. They live for thousands of years. And it was like, okay, my elf is going to be 500 years old. Generally young by most elven standards. So then I get to the Wall of Tiana and it's like, oh, most elves here are about 150, 200. Being 400 is pretty old. Your elf is 500 years old. She's ancient. I'm like, really? Okay, I guess. So she started off as a rogue, an alchemy rogue, which was very fun to play, but very exhausting as well, because it was running around, dodging, fighting. It was awesome amounts of fun. And the storyline that I incorporated for it just kind of shifted the focus of going away from a rogue and going into a Templar. And currently today, she's a Knight Templar Paladin. All of that. All of that. And I'm still having a ton of fun with her. Really, she's just getting more intriguing, getting more fun to play. and I'm just integrating myself into the world of Tiana bit by bit. I'm loving it.
So you're part of the Tiana lot.
Yes.
So up to thus far in your cosplay career, what has been your absolute highlight?
I have to say my Joanna. My Joanna cosplay was my first attempt at, like I said, the leather and hybrid cosplays. But it was also a character that I related to. Largely because of the way I played Beleran in my LARPing, but also because I love the idea of a female knight. Absolutely love it. And seeing one that they designed that actually looks legitimate like a knight was a very, very big selling point for me. When I saw that costume, the very first time I saw Open Heroes of the Storm, I'm like looking at Joanna, I'm like, oh my god, I've got to cosplay this. I've got to cosplay. I don't care how long it takes to make. I don't care what it costs to get the material. I'm cosplaying this. And that was the start for me of making cosplay and LARPing, cosplay and leatherworking one and the same.
How long did it take you to make your Joanna costume?
In months, it took me about 5. In hours, it took me just over 500. I was legitimately working about 3-4 hours every single night, every single day, weekends included, to get it done.
And this year icon, you did Tyrael from Diablo 3.
Well, the actual model that I used was also from Heroes of the Storm for the costume. There's a couple of differences between Heroes of the Storm costume and Diablo itself's costume. So the Tyrael characters are originally from Diablo, but the actual costume was from Heroes of the Storm, except the sword. So yes, I was looking at the sword, and I was like, look, it's great, but I don't like the model in Heroes of the Storm. So I reverted back from the model on Diablo itself, and I made that model for my cosplay. That was a lot of work, even more so than my Joanna cosplay.
So out of your cosplays that you still want to do, okay, but haven't got to, your top 3 cosplays that you haven't gotten to yet, either because it's like daunting or you just haven't had the time, or it's going to cost you an arm, leg and maybe a left ear. Which your top 3 cosplays?
Okay, so one of the ones that I really, really, really want to do is Artanis from StarCraft, which presents a ton of challenges on its own, because I need to learn sculpting, I need to learn how to walk on stilts to actually do the cosplay correctly. And there's just a whole bunch of new things for me to learn, which was one of my main focuses when I actually attempted cosplay, is to learn something new while I'm doing it, to challenge myself and pick up a new skill while I'm at it. Artanis definitely. I really want to do a Lich King from World of Warcraft.
First.
But I still feel that that's a little bit above my skill level, and I would like to do the costume justice when I actually attempt it. Then I would like to do a costume that is not really an armor cosplay, because I do a lot of armor cosplays simply because the leatherworking involved in it is challenging and interesting for me to do. So I don't know, I'm looking at something like something from Dragon Age or something from Witcher, maybe even something from Skyrim.
Ooh, Skyrim, yes, Skyrim. Skyrim.
Because I love the armor cosplays, but something maybe not as bulky as Tyrael or Joanna. But I have to, every time it comes back to Blizzard's work, because I love the detail that Blizzard puts into their models. I don't know, maybe sometime I'll even do something anime related if I actually find something that catches my fancy and goes like, oh, how to do this. Somewhere in the future.
Somewhere in the future. Thank you so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure chatting to you, and all the best of luck for your future cosplays.
Sure, thank you very much. It's been very fun having me here, and pleasure is all mine.
Thanks so much for joining us once again, guys. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel, like it and share it, and leave some comments in the sections below. Until next time, from me, Drake and Red Fox, game on and geek on.
Hi, I'm Leena Swarts with Beleran's Aerie, with Drake and Red Fox, and I love geeks like me.